Three bows to the Buddha. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Bow to the teacher.
Okay, can you see my screen, my slides
Yes.
completely? Yeah, good, good. Okay. Um, Good morning to the Dharma friends in Asia and good evening to the
Good
Dharma
evening.
in the US. The last day. I think everyone is very excited because you have experienced a lot of joys during these 4 days. So I hope you can gain some benefit from the lessons uh, by different teachers. Yesterday, I mentioned that generally relying on the Tathāgatagarbha, there is alaya consciousness, right? And relying on the alaya consciousness, all Dharma relating to the whole system of comprehension arise. So the alaya consciousness, therefore, has two parts, as shown on the screen. One is defiled part, which gives rise to we call karmic actions and other phenomena. This defiled part can be eliminated. The other is the true mind the true mind or pure essence that embodies a Buddha's virtues, and this part is pure and permanent. The purpose of the Tathāgatagarbha practice is not to cultivate purity directly, but to remove defilement so that our innate purity and virtues can then shine. Okay. So after the defiled part was removed, the mind returns to pure status and is not and in this status uh, our mind is not called alaya anymore. Okay, so once these defilements are removed, we become pure. So the name of alaya no longer suits the pure situation. Okay, so this is unlike the middle way and Yogacara teachings that say we need to cultivate virtues as well as remove afflictions. So I hope you can see that these three systems explain our current worldly state differently, but the final goal is the same. It is just that the Tathāgatagarbha teachings may sound easier because one only needs to remove defilement. The way is just wipe the dust. Okay. According to Abhidhamma Mahayana Sutra, it says the essence that exists since time without beginning is the foundation of all dharmas. Owing to this essence, there exist all destinies of cyclic existence, as well as the acquisition of nirvana. The word essence in this quote refers to the Tathāgatagarbha, which is also referring to the alaya. The relationship between this quote is as follows. The Tathāgatagarbha's self-nature is essentially pure, but ever since time without beginning, it has been conditioned and covered with defilements that are delusional and impure. This defiled state of the Tathāgatagarbha is called alaya. Okay? This is analogous to clouds covering the sky, such that the blue sky is no longer visible. But the sky is never really stained by the clouds. The sky is just covered up. Okay? In this sense, when the characteristic of the alaya is investigated, there is the true aspect, which is called the Tathāgatagarbha, and there is a karmic aspect, which is the result of conditioning by defilements. The combination of both aspects make up the whole alaya. Such a teaching is not readily accepted or understood in the consciousness-only teachings given by Asanga and Vasubandhu. However, this is the teaching on how the alaya consciousness exists in reliance on the Tathāgatagarbha, based on the Tathāgatagarbha teachings. So it's not purely the consciousness-only teaching, just borrow the term alaya. Some treat the Lankavatara Sutra as a Yogacara text. And so if you apply the Yogacara principles to this sutra, there are some areas that are hard to explain or link together. But when you apply the Tathāgatagarbha principles and ideas, then the Lankavatara teachings all fall into place. Sorry. So back to the verse and the alaya with the karmic and the true aspects. The defiled seeds or karmic aspect of the alaya consciousness explains how it is possible for cyclic existence to arise with all its various realms. Do note that this karmic aspect exists together with the true aspect, that is, Tathāgatagarbha. In fact, the Tathāgatagarbha is emptiness, the true nature of all dharmas. Therefore, the Tathāgatagarbha is eternal and unchanging and is not something apart from cyclic existence. Hence, it can be said that the Tathāgatagarbha permits throughout the various realms of existence. This is the same as how space is defined by the shape of the vessel. That is, the space in a square vessel is square, right? And while the space in a round vessel, the space has a round shape. Okay. At the same time, the alaya consciousness has a true aspect, which refers to the virtues of a Buddha. This true aspect is the pure essence that is inseparable from the Tathāgatagarbha. This true aspect also exists together with the alaya. On account of this true aspect of alaya, it is possible for sentient beings to lose cyclic existence, aspire to practice the path, overcome the defilements, and attain nirvana. So we need something pure as the source. Okay, remember that these karmic and true aspects belong to the Tathāgatagarbha teachings found in the Lankavatara Sutra. In the consciousness-only teachings, this true aspect equates to the pure seeds in the alaya. These seeds are subject to arising and cessation, like all other seeds. So these seeds are also subject to conditioned arising. This is different from the Tathāgatagarbha teachings, where the true aspect is part of true essence, and so it is not subject to arising and cessation, like conditioned phenomena. Okay, so the pure parts in Tathāgatagarbha is permanent and unchanging. Okay, but the pure parts in the consciousness-only teachings, they still arise and falls. Okay, different. It's just different in description, right? But things happen the same, but different way to describe. Okay, when one completely removes all defilements and delusions and accomplishes all pure virtues, this is when the Tathāgatagarbha is revealed, like a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon. In this state, the Tathāgatagarbha is called the Dharma and is no longer referred to as alaya. So alaya is the name for the Tathāgatagarbha in impure status. Okay, when all defilement removed, it is not called alaya anymore, right? So the system of mere consciousness that is illusional, and the system of mere mind that is true and permanent, both cater to audience with different spiritual foundations and provide different doctrinal teachings. Although the two systems appeared sequentially, their timing is very close. Moreover, both argue that there is a real Dharma as the foundation to explain the existence of all Dharmas, and both use the mind or consciousness as the central point of focus. Consequently, there are instances where the two systems mutually influence each other's theories. But it is important to make clear what these differences are. The same term used in one school has a different meaning when used by the other school. So here is a funny example for you. Okay, this is just like American English and British English. There are some words that have very different meanings when used in the US compared to the UK. For example, college in the US is the tertiary level educational institution, while in the UK, in some area, it is a secondary level similar to high school, right? And another funny example is the word pants. Pants in the US means trousers, while in the UK it means underwear. Very funny. Now we can come to the next verse, which says, the Buddha said, emptiness, the nature of all dharmas, is also what is called the Tathāgatagarbha. The transcendental truth has no differences. Do not mistake it to be the same as heretical views. For the sake of catering to ordinary beings, non-Buddhist practitioners, and a small portion of Shravakayana practitioners who cling to the notion of an intrinsic self, the Buddha taught that there is the Tathāgatagarbha. This means that in the spread of Buddhism, the Buddha and the sages knew they needed a method to make the teachings acceptable to a certain group of people, especially those with other faiths that believe in a self, soul, or Atman, which is quite common in ancient India. This Tathāgatagarbha is said to be permanent and changing, and cycles from one life to the next. Buddha also taught that the virtue of wisdom and the magnificent physical hallmarks of a Buddha are innately complete in each sentient being. So what exactly is this Tathāgatagarbha? Is it really the case that the complete body of boundless virtues and hallmarks of a Buddha is already in every sentient being? It is not the same as the non-Buddhist teachings on the intrinsic self, where this self is the origin of sentient beings and is a permanent and pure entity. These questions are put forth by the Bodhisattva named Mahamati in the Lankavatara Sutra. These questions are not put forth by Venerable Yin-Shun. Okay. The Buddha compassionately used skillful means in the Lankavatara Sutra to specifically explain the meaning of Tathāgatagarbha. In the sutra, the Buddha responds to the Mahamati Bodhisattva's question and says that Tathāgatagarbha is another name for emptiness, the nature of all Dharma. Okay? This is what the sutra says. When I teach about the Tathāgatagarbha, it is not the same as the intrinsic self taught by non-Buddhists. It shows in the text, the Lankavatara Sutra. Okay. So the sutra continue to say, Mahamati, sometimes I say emptiness, silencelessness, no desires, truth, highest reality, nature of all dharmas, dharmakaya, nirvana, free from intrinsic nature, no arising and no cessation, originally still and calm, nirvana in nature, and so on. All these terms refer to the Tathāgatagarbha. For the sake of addressing the fear ignorant beings have towards the teaching of no intrinsic self, the Tathāgata, the Buddha, the one worthy of offerings, the one with unsurpassed spring awakening, proclaims the teaching on the Tathāgatagarbha to help them realize the state that is free from delusions and without attachments. Take the analogy of a potter who has a lump of clay and then employs various means such as manual labor, water, wooden tools, pottery wheel, the string, to create all sorts of vessels. The Buddha is also like this. The Buddha gives the teaching on no intrinsic self, which helps sentient beings remove all delusions by various skillful means, issuing from his transcendental wisdom. That is, sometimes by the doctrine of the Tathāgatagarbha, sometimes by that of no intrinsic self. So the Tathāgatagarbha is none other than emptiness, the profound nature of all dharmas, right? According to the sutra, the Tathāgatagarbha refers to the innate essence in all sentient beings, bodies, and minds. And this essence is the nature of emptiness. So we can see that even the Buddha knows that sometimes a new packaging is needed to attract more people, right? This innate essence refers to a specific characteristic that is present in all beings. So that is present in all beings, sorry. This is the same as when the teachings mention the universal characteristics of the three Dharma seals. Do you remember the three Dharma seals that apply to all Dharma? The three seals are all conditioned Dharmas are impermanent. All Dharma are without an intrinsic self, and Nirvana is still and quiet. Among these three, the third seal about Nirvana is from the aspect of what a practitioner experiences when they awaken to the truth. When one realizes the truth, they transcend duality. And so everything is beyond description and conception. So it can only be said that this is an experience, and the Buddha Dharma relates that experience using the adjectives of calm, quiet, still, and so forth. Okay. To repackage and present emptiness in a new way, Buddha called it Tathāgatagarbha, which may appear similar to the concept of an intrinsic self. But this is merely a skillful means to cater to those non-Buddhists who fear the teachings on no self. The Tathāgatagarbha teachings address the problem where some people, especially non-Buddhists, upon hearing the teachings on emptiness and no self, they cannot develop faith and acceptance, and instead they criticize and even defame the Buddha's teachings. For such people, this is the only way to attract them, and such is the Buddha's earnest effort to reach out to them. You can see the Buddha's skillfulness here because the teachings on Tathāgatagarbha sound like the concept of an intrinsic self. However, once people believe and accept the teachings, as they gradually progress in their practice, they will realize that their previous understanding of emptiness was incorrect, and they realize that Tathāgatagarbha is none other than the nature of emptiness, which they once feared. So when learning the Dharma, it is fine to use skillful means, but you need to gradually progress when you learn and not just remain at the entry level. These skillful methods found in the Buddha Dharma are to help people overcome entry barriers to learning the Dharma. The nature of emptiness or transcendental truth has no differences. This is explained in the treatise on the lineage of three Jews, which says the Dharma body of a Buddha penetrates everywhere. The transcendental truth has no differences. And the Buddha nature exists in all living beings. Therefore, all living beings are always in possession of the Buddha nature. So in terms of having no differences, this truth is called the realm of sentient beings when referring to the sentient beings. It is called the realm of Tathāgata when talking about Buddhas. Descriptions such as transcendental truth has no differences means it is permanent, pure, and unchanging. Buddhas rely on the truth as their nature and body, and therefore it is also called Buddha nature and Dharma body. In terms of the true nature of dharmas has no differences. This means that all Buddha possess this nature, and so too all sentient beings. This is why it is said that all sentient beings are innately complete with the Tathāgatagarbha. Okay. The Lankavatara Sutra also says, for the sake of addressing the fear ignorant beings have towards the teaching of no intrinsic self, to open and draw in non-Buddhists who are attached to the concept of an intrinsic self. The Buddha proclaimed the teachings on Tathāgatagarbha. The treatise on the lineage of three Jews also says that the teachings on the Buddha nature aim to cause sentient beings to give up five faults, of which the fifth fault is attachment to an intrinsic self embodied in each person. So one who practices the Tathāgatagarbha teaching properly will eventually realize there is no intrinsic self. Okay? The purpose of the Tathāgatagarbha teaching is something that all practitioners of Tathāgatagarbha method should pay particular attention to. So we need to understand the purpose and take the meaning correctly. Okay. One must avoid misunderstanding the Tathāgatagarbha teachings and taking such a misunderstanding as ultimate realization, which exactly the same as heretical view. Okay? So, in conclusion, okay, the Tathāgatagarbha system of teaching is a skillful means introduced by the Buddha to cater to people with certain spiritual foundations. Although the doctrines sound like it supports the concept of self or I, In fact, it is just presenting emptiness in a different way to make it acceptable to people who misunderstood understand emptiness. So this brings us to the end of these talks on Tathāgatagarbha for this Dharma retreat. I hope you found it interesting and continue to learn about the different Mahayana doctrines and find a practice that can help you progress steadily on your spiritual path. Okay, we have a lot of time for Q&A. Okay, so any question, please. So everything clear on Tathāgatagarbha teaching? No? Well, it is just a sort of in, encouraging teaching when people think it's difficult to achieve the aim of Buddhahood because it sounds easier because we have the virtues already, but just covered by defilement. We just remove easier. Yeah, sounds easy, but the same work. We still practice hard, but it sounds easier, isn't it? Mm. Okay, any question? Faye, are you okay?
I'm not ready to ask questions yet because I'm not quite digesting.
Okay, so very difficult for you, you mean?
I'm not saying the difficult. I have to go around it to put all this term
Yeah,
into the right place to make
yeah,
it make
yeah,
make
yeah.
sense. Yeah,
You some more time.
it is a
Yeah,
little bit difficult for me. So
yeah.
abstract.
You can, well, there are different places.
Yeah.
We have different translation from the way to Buddha, the book of the way to Buddhahood. Okay.
Yes. I still need more digesting all this term, like the intensic um, nature and Buddha nature and all this, the difference of terms have to
Yeah,
be,
Buddha nature, Tathāgatagarbha,
uh, yeah,
or Buddha Dhammakaya. These are all synonyms. These are all
yeah.
refers to
My
the truth.
question, my problem is why they need all these different terms. It must be
Oh,
something different, right?
yeah, from different aspect, yes.
Yeah,
But when because you know different audience uh familiar with different terms, although the terms means the same, but for these people they prefer a certain technical term and it sounds
to
for
me
me,
it's very, very abstract to put all to connect each other and to
yeah,
put an equal signs. It's not the equal signs. It's just
yeah,
something
because,
else. Yeah.
because this term from different spiritual texts,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
So different spiritual, sorry, scriptures, not spiritual, scripture texts
Script. Right.
use different technical term to mean the same.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes, okay, let me summarize the synonym. Okay, so
Okay.
we have Buddha nature, right,
Hmm.
and Tathāgatagarbha,
Yes.
Dhammakaya,
Yes.
and Nirvana,
Yes.
emptiness, emptiness.
Emptiness. Right.
Yeah, and what else? Pure mind.
Non-self.
Pure mind. Pure mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you attend the meditation retreat held by Chan tradition,
Mm-hmm.
they always mention pure mind. Okay,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All sentient beings have the pure have
My
sentient beings have pure mind in nature. But it doesn't mean when you practice the meditation, you try to see, you have an intention to see the the pure mind. Once you have this intention, you can't see the pure mind at all. You know why? Because you have attachments.
yeah,
So once you remove or you eliminate all the attachments, you experience the brightness, right? It's called pure mind. It's an experience. When we describe the situation where practitioner awaken to the truth, they are all very similar. Brightness, still, okay? Still, calm, etc., etc., and happy, happiness, something like that. These are all related, but from different aspects. From some are from the aspect of object we contemplate, right?
yeah.
Some are from the aspect of the practitioner who contemplate, right?
Yes.
Can you understand?
Yeah, I understand when you're
Describe.
saying it, but I cannot uh, explain it to somebody else that asked me that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what you're talking about, and I understand what you're trying to let me understand, but I cannot repeat like what you were telling if I have to explain to Jane, let's put it that way. So Jane's gonna be so confused if I explain it. I still don't have this stream of this connection.
yeah.
Yeah,
Try.
this
Yeah,
takes a long time for me, for my
yeah,
lifetime, I think.
really. But I think you have sharp spiritual
No,
foundation.
getting dull now. The knife is not sharp anymore.
You have sharp wisdom.
Not anymore. Maybe before when I was younger, or when I was young, but now I don't know. Getting very dull.
Don't worry. Yeah, every same situation. You just need to experience. Experience is very
Yeah,
important.
that's what I try to explain it in our this discussion group on Saturday. But
Yeah,
some,
yeah,
and then
yes.
I got very frustrated. How come they don't understand what I'm saying? So it's,
Really.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Not
when you
diligent.
explain it, they're very clear. I'm assure you, I understand what you are trying to tell me, but I cannot repeat it that way.
You can use your own way to
Well, that's funny. If I use my own way, people will get confused what you're talking about.
keep in touch. I
Yeah.
can share some notes for you
Yeah, the
with you.
thing is always has to be repeating, I think. This is the problem. I mean, this is the way to keep repeating and telling somebody that can accept my connection or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, sometimes we need to use a different way. We call it the
Uh-huh.
the plain language. So
Yeah.
correct plain language. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's not uh, absolutely correct in terms of the meaning. But people can catch the sense, just let them catch the sense, the key point. But sometimes it's not exactly correct in terms of the ultimate sense. Okay. So anyway, when we attend the retreat held by Chan tradition, we come across the Tathāgatagarbha teaching a lot.
Yes.
But remember, the Tathāgatagarbha is something we trying to see. If you have this idea and you can't see the Tathāgatagarbha,
That's a problem. It's
yeah,
really abstract. Yeah.
yeah, it's just an encouragement
Mm-hmm.
for people to be willing practicing the path. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just a sort of skillful means because it sounds like self. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
but it's not really a self. It's truth, emptiness, but it sounds like intrinsic self, like the teaching by the non-Buddhists, by the Vedanta school. Okay. So no question, really, all clear. What about you, Jane? Jane?
Well, I have to do as Faye needs to do. I think it's about repetition and exposing myself to the teachings because I think part of the issue is um trying to figure out how it hooks in to the other doctrine. I
Yeah,
just, I mean, it just seems like it's, at least from my point of view, it's, a pretty deep teaching. I mean, like, I understand the basic concept, but I think it's very scholarly, which I like.
yeah.
I just need to spend time with it.
Okay, thank you so much for your feedback. Scholarly, but I'm not a scholar.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think you
practicing.
might be.
I used to be a scholar, okay, but now I return back to my real role, okay? Real.
No, you're very good. I mean, that I should say you much better than average people that are explaining this complicated terminology. Yeah.
Because I'm familiar with this Dharma teaching and I spend a lot of time to improve my English expression. I mean writing. I'm translating Venerable Yin-Shun's Chinese word. Do you know the website? Maybe I can introduce you to the website. Let me show you.
Okay.
Okay, just a minute. And Yin-Shun Foundation, Taiwan. Just a minute. Share screen. Shares. Can you see the information?
Yes.
Yeah, so all in Chinese, right? But we have here English publication. Okay,
Yes.
so can you see uh inshan.org.tw? Okay, so you can see here, click. So on this page, you will be able to find official English publications
I saw
regarding.
this one before.
Yeah, you
I
saw.
was reading this.
Yes, so we have new update, but we have some new article I haven't
Oh, I
uploaded.
see.
So these texts you read before, you
Yes,
read already, you read already. Oh, good, good.
I read most of them, not all of them, because some of them is kind of very difficult, like the wisdom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So you can download it
yeah,
for
I
free.
have this. Yeah.
Yeah, also, this very academic. This is academic work, but very interesting.
Yeah.
Feminism. Okay.
Reminiscence. Yeah.
Feminism.
It's very good. I really like this one, but it need a lot of understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, article R94 is more of a research paper using records of a certain historical event in Buddhism's history to try and get a
Yeah.
glimpse.
Yeah. Dharma friend, the one in the um this class here today. If you want it, I can send you the website because I
Yeah.
think it's very helpful.
Yeah, have you heard of this article before? Anand's Force.
I
Because
haven't I haven't read this one yet,
because
but
after
mm,
yeah, yeah, after Buddha passed away,
mhm,
Kashyap scold Ananda
yeah.
with 6 forts. Okay. But Ananda say, well,
What
it's
am I
happened
gonna do?
20 years ago. Why you
You left me alone.
propose this issue now? What do you mean? Okay. Do we have issue each other?
Yes, we do. It's a
Okay.
lot of older monks and so.
Yeah, it's very interesting article. We
This
spend
is
a
the
lot
new
of.
one, right? I haven't seen this one before.
Yeah, it's new one.
Yeah.
Probably early this year, just
Yes.
published in January or February. I can't remember. But this article published in a journal,
Oh,
by published by 慈济类
mhm.
they the academic journal. So this article published in the first issue of what is called how can I say 证印证
没看过。
Yeah, let me show you 印证 Okay, sorry, I prepared the lesson this evening. 印证 maybe 印证 I will send you a link and
Okay, thank you.
the journal called 印证
Published
yeah.
from what group?
Sorry,
What group is this magazine from?
your study group, you can send to your
Yes, I
student.
know, but I mean, 印证, what publisher there? What group?
Oh, it's by 慈济, you know, 慈济,
Okay, okay.
yeah, 慈济, yeah.
慈济.
And the core tenet of Buddha Dharma is great compassion. Read this before?
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at this. Like this one, I did
Yeah,
significance
this one
of Tathāgatagarbha.
should be
Yeah,
interesting. Significance of life and death.
yes. Yeah,
Everyone,
I shared this our discussion group because I
Mm.
think they need to know this, and also this one.
yeah. Also, an explanation on the uniqueness of the law of cause and effect over 3 time periods. Yeah.
This is
And
great. I didn't know there were English articles.
Yeah, it is very good one.
you mean this one?
Very short, and then it's very what do you call it? Pointing the important point is in there.
You mean this article or the next?
Many article in this
Yeah, all of
website.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah. We
yeah,
try to select the articles which are interesting.
yeah. Before I read this Chinese booklet, the one I put in my
Booklet.
pocket.
It's from the booklet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I like it. This one in English. There's the few of them.
Yeah, easier to digest. I mean, the topic is very attractive and interesting.
Yes, and very useful too for everyday life.
And also virtuous practices
Yes,
of lay Buddhists, very useful for all of you, right? And the
this is
ultimate,
also very interesting.
of
Do we
learning.
learn Buddhism?
Yeah. So you all have read this, many of these, right?
Many
And
of them, yeah. The difficult
university.
one, I put it aside for because I have to share all this content with with our discussion group, and I don't want to pick out those like the
Yeah,
answers and things like this, and very difficult for me to understand. I mean, to
maybe
explain it with them.
our topic can focus on these articles
Yeah.
and that you have read, and you can propose your questions and make the lesson more
Interesting.
exciting, I think. We can have debate. Okay.
Most of our group people, they like to use this at every daily life example. I said, no, you cannot do that. If you keep thinking your own idea, that's not Buddhism anymore. But they cannot understand what I say. But I try.
We practice in our daily life.
Yeah, practice, but you cannot use that to explain those abstract things.
For example, how to apply Tathāgatagarbha teaching to our daily life.
Yeah.
When we are weary and
But
feeling, we think we have a Buddha virtues, and then suddenly we feel very excited, right? We
yes,
already have this, but just can't find it. But it's somewhere in our body or something. Yeah.
for instance, I still struggle with
Yeah,
our
just
friend.
clean up ourselves, and then we can let the virtues shine.
I still get the question from the group. It's all say, I'm sitting here. Why do you say no self? Oh my goodness. What am I going to say? I give a lot of story and example. And
Good.
yes,
To audience, can understand how to apply Buddhism in daily life. It's very important. Otherwise, we have no, how can I say, emotion to learn further because we know how to use it.
Yes.
Gain no benefit from the teaching, right? So once we gain benefit from the teaching, we want to learn more. It's very important.
I try to use the children Buddhist story, and then they still cannot grasp it. So I try my best. Keep repeating the same thing.
Yeah, we used to have a topic on this article, repenting for karmic hindrances.
I even introduced with repenting chanting from Hu Xie. Uh-huh. So after chanting a year, everybody drop off. They don't want to do that anymore. So
Really, everyone should be diligent.
yes, yes. I told
Okay,
them
it's
to
time. It's
repent
time.
every night before go to bed, and they don't.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think they like that anyway.
yeah, just show verse and
Yes.
recite the verse and meditate for 5 minutes to recall all.
I think you gave us this lecture. Remember with these verses
It's me. Yeah.
about 2 years ago. That's what I used that one to practice daily, like. But
Good.
everybody drop off. They don't want to do that anymore. So I cannot force them.
Encourage everyone to practice this again. Okay, it's
Yeah.
time we have to
Yeah.
finish.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we have
Thank you very
half
much.
an hour of discussion. Only me saying something, right? So
Yeah,
nobody say anything.
thank you. Okay, Larry, please.
Larry, are you there?
Yes, I am. I 3 bows to the Buddha. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And bow to teacher.
Okay, thank you so much for.
Thank you, Chang-Tzu Fazi. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Next
Fashi.
year we see you
Thank
in
you.
person, right?
Yeah, I hope to see you everyone in person next
Yes.
year. Okay.